What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. I'm back for another Black History Month fact. We've heard of Rosewood and we've definitely heard of Black Wall Street. All of these stories are just recently coming to light within the last 15 to 20 years because, of course, they wanted to oppress the stories of such blatant racism and the level of the massacres that have occurred. But here's a story of another massacre that you may not be as familiar with. It took place in Florida, and I want to make sure, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, the Ocoee Massacre, Ocoee, was an incident of mass racial violence which saw a white mob attack numerous African American residents in the northern parts of Ocoee, Florida, a town located in Orange County near Orlando. The massacre took place on November the 2nd, 1920, on the day of the U.S. presidential election. By most estimates, a total of 30 to 35 Black people were killed in the violence. Most African American owned buildings and residences in North Ocoee were burned to the ground. Other African Americans living in the southern Ocoee were later killed or driven out of town by the threat of further violence being used against them. Thus, Ocoee essentially became an all-white or a sundown town. The massacre has been described as the single bloodiest day in modern American history. The attack was intended to prevent Black citizens from voting. Black people had essentially been disenfranchised in Florida since the beginning of the 20th century. They still being disenfranchised, but anyway. Various Black organizations have been conducting voter registration drives for a year. On November 20th, Moses Norman, a prosperous African American farmer, tried to vote but was turned away twice on election day. Norman was among those working on the voter drive. A white mob surrounded the home of Julius July Perry, where Norman was thought to have taken refuge. After Perry drove away, the white mob with gunshots killing 2 men and wounding one who tried to break into his house. The mob called for reinforcement from Orlando and Orange County. The mob laid waste to the African American community in northern Ocoee and eventually killed Perry. They took his body to Orlando and hung him from a light post to intimidate other Black people. Norman escaped, never to be found. Hundreds of other African Americans fled the town, leaving behind their homes and possessions. Hope you learned something. Leave some comments under the video, and I'll talk to y'all later.